The National Development Plan recognizes that reducing the cost of living is essential for broadening economic participation and eliminating poverty. Alongside the economic wage, as we call it, that is earned through work, the social wage provided by government is a steadily rising contribution to improving the living conditions of working people and their families. Substantial growth in social spending over the past decade has financed a threefold increase in the number of people receiving social grants, doubling in per capita health spending, construction of 1.5 million free homes, and the provision of free basic education to the poorest 60% of learners. The impact is evident in improved living standards, expanded access to basic services, and the changing landscape of both urban and rural areas. Mr. Speaker, the social assistance budget has increased by an average of 11% a year since 2008-2009, in part due to the extension of the child support grant to the age of 18. Spending on social assistance will rise to 120 billion rands next year. The old age grant and disability grants will increase in April from 1,200 rands a month to 1,260 rands a month. The foster care grant will increase from 770 rands to 800 rands a month. And the child support grant will increase to 290 rands in April and 300 rands a month in October. It is also proposed that the old age grant means test should be phased out by 2016, accompanied by offsetting revisions to the secondary and tertiary rebates that's in the income tax system. All citizens over a designated age will be eligible for the grant, which will simplify its administration and address the disincentive to save that arises from the present means test. Alongside social assistance, access to health care is a vital element in the social wage. There has been progress in reducing mortality and improving our HIV and TB programs, and an expansion in medical and nursing training capacity is underway under the very tough hand of Minister Motsoaledi. Pilot national health insurance projects have been initiated this year in 10 districts and will include improvements to health facilities, contracting with general practitioners, and financial management reforms. A new conditional grant is introduced this year to enable the National Department of Health to play a greater role in coordinating these reforms. The initial phase of NHI development will not place new revenue demands on the fiscus. Over the longer term, however, it is anticipated that a tax increase, I'm going to say will be needed, it might be needed, I hope. The National Treasury is working with the Department of Health to examine the funding arrangements and the system reforms required for NHI. A discussion paper inviting public comment on various options will be published later this year. Government's contribution to housing and basic municipal services is a substantial component of the social wage. The budget for housing and community amenities has increased by over 16% a year since 2008. Progress continues to be made in extending access to housing, electricity, water, sanitation, and refuse removal services. The main contribution of the national budget to the financing of household amenities is the local government equitable share. A new equitable share formula, as I indicated earlier, is proposed in this budget, which will provide a subsidy of 275 rands for every household with a monthly income less than 2,300 rands, or about, as I pointed out earlier, 59% of all households. We also recognize that many businesses provide their employees with housing assistance or housing loans. However, the current fringe benefit tax is unduly burdensome in cases where an employer transfers a house to a low-income worker at a price below market value. Tax relief is proposed to address this difficulty and make this process less expensive. Mr. Speaker, the social wage complements employment earnings and contributes to a more equitable and inclusive economic growth path. National health insurance and further steps in social security reform will also reinforce social solidarity and the decent work agenda. Social spending, however, is not a substitute for job creation and for people having jobs. One of our most because we must all agree, as the President has indicated on many occasions, that all able-bodied persons in South Africa should have a job, should have the dignity of a job, should have the security of income, and have at the same time. We know that that is not going to happen tomorrow morning. So the social wage plays an important, very important, supportive role to our communities. One of our most pressing development challenges is to expand work opportunities for young people, as I indicated earlier. There has been extensive debate on how this should be done, and the answer is a wide range of measures, as I indicated earlier as well, that include further education and training, public employment opportunities, and support for job creation in the private sector. To complement these existing programs, and I'm repeating this just so that you understand it, a tax incentive aimed at sharing the costs of employing young work seekers will be tabled for consideration by Parliament so that the private sector and government can share costs. It will help young people enter the labour market to gain valuable experience and access career opportunities. A similar incentive, as I pointed out, is proposed for eligible workers of all ages within the intended special economic zones.